What's up, everybody? It's Passing on Smirgle here. Got another deck profile for y'all today. You see I got Squirrel Matt rocking in the background. Today's deck profiles you probably saw from the little intro title screen. It's going to be Turbo Mega Rayquaza. So to start things out, of course, I've got 3 Rayquaza EX. I've seen some lists bump around with, using one of the dragon ones, just to kind of, one or two of the dragon ones, just to get rid of that lightning weakness. You're certainly welcome to do that with this build too. I'm not exactly sure how that would work out for you, but I could see it being slightly profitable for you. We'll move those guys up here. Next, this Mega Rayquaza, so 3 copies of the Emerald Break Mega Rayquaza. This is the colorless version of this deck. It hits like a truck. A lot of decks right now are using Skyfield. Then the ones that aren't are using Verbank, which you can't really take advantage of, but that's okay. So we do play 3 stadiums, so that should help. But we've got 3 of the Mega Rayquaza EX. It's going to be pretty hard to take down Toad Giratina with this, so you might have to lock in a Dragon Pulse with a regular one to help take down Giratina, since you can't touch him with your Mega Rayquaza here with that that ability that he has to stop all damage from Megas. Dragon Pulse from regular Rayquaza does do, as you can see here on the card, 100 damage. Once that focuses in, 100 damage. So that, that'll 2-shot that Giratina EX, and hopefully you don't let yourself get 2-shotted, because you can set up pretty quickly with this deck. Next up we have 3 Shaman EXs. You can run a 4th if you want in this deck. You can run fewer, it's up to you, but this is turbo, so a 4th one might be good in this slot. I don't have a 4th one, and I don't really like proxying for deck profiles and stuff, so this is what I will be playing if I play the deck. So I play 3 Shaman for that setup ability is very obvious. Next, 2 Hoopa EX. This helps you get that turbo going. I would highly recommend playing a 3rd, but I'm just going to test it out with 2 right now. But if you play the 4 Shaman, playing a 3rd Hoopa very much helps you out, especially with this Scoundrel Ring to grab 3 things. The only thing that's kind of a hindrance is that 3 Psychic attack cost in Hyperspace Fury. We have no way of setting that up, so this does become a big Lysander target, but we do pack a couple of ways to kind of protect ourselves from that. I kept that in mind when building this deck. Next we have one of those is Keldeo with Rush In, Retreat with Floatstone, which you'll see later in the deck. Keldeo is in here just for Rush In Retreat. You can hit with Secret Sword, but it'll only be doing 50 in this build. Next we have Virizion EX. This is 2. We're going to be playing a grass version of Mega Rayquaza, and this is just to protect from poison. With Toad Giratina being really popular, Hypnotoxic Lasers becoming a big thing in a lot of those decks, and a lot of other different decks are using it right now, and protecting from poison is going to be crucial, especially with Floatstone coming back. It's in expanded right now, and obviously this is an expanded deck, but it will be back kind of quote-unquote on the market in, a day as of me recording this. So with Floatstone probably being, I would say, a little more popular because it's getting released again, we might see Trevenant, Gengar, and Gengar does have that poison thing, so that could be a possibility, but like I said, this is mainly in here to help us combat Toad Giratina. Also, if you can get off an Emerald Slash, it's pretty decent. Next, we play 1 Jirachi just to grab a supporter. This might be something I'm considering cutting, but it's proven pretty well in here. The only thing is, it is another Lysander target, because we have no way of doing Hypno Strike. But it is good to just pick a supporter out of the deck and put it in your hand, speed up things a little bit. Next, we are playing 2 non-EX Pokemon. One of those is Execute. This is in here because we play a lot of discarding things, and a lot of ways to put stuff in the discard pile. So Execute, you can bring it back, you can use it as an Ultra Ball thing. I'm thinking about bumping this up to 2. If I cut a Jirachi, this will be something that I bump up to 2, just to have more things to use for Ultra Ball, just to speed things along, just to keep our helps your choices with your hand discards. If you have the ability to bring 2 executes back and discard them both, you would do that, you know, almost 10 times out of 10. Next is a one of something I'm testing out, is one of the farewell letter unknowns, just to put it on the bench and draw an extra card. It basically lets us play the deck the way that I see this is it lets us play a deck with 59 cards in it, basically, because just play it, draw 1. It cantrips or replaces itself. You know, you can put it on the bench to load up for a big. It's actually a thing to put on the bench to load up for a big Emerald break, or you know, you can put it down, pitch it off, draw 1 card, play it, set up more for Shaman. It lets you be a little funky, I guess. I'm trying it out. It was something that I saw on a list. Forget whose it was, but it was on the. It won, I think, the Arizona regionals this past couple of months, and I wanted to try it out just to see what it was like. On to supporters. I'm running 4 Professor Sycamore. This is something that I think just speeds the deck along a little bit. Might not be so great in this deck. I might cut this down to 2 or 3 and put something else in these slots, but I haven't quite figured out what yet. So just rocking out with the 4 Professor Sycamores. That list from Arizona did not play any Professors, Sycamore or Juniper, if memory serves. We are rocking out with another card from that list, but they played 2. This is 1 Hex Maniac. It does shut off our Shamans and our Virizion, so you just have to be careful with that, but it is nice to turn off Giratina's ability and then hit it for a big Emerald break and take it out. If I cut a Professor Sycamore, this would be something that I brought up to 2. Next, we're playing 1 N for obvious reasons. 1 Lysander. This might get brought up to 2 as well. 1 Colress, and that rounds out the supporter line. You could play a Getsis in this build if you wanted to, but I don't have any, and I don't really see the point in playing what I consider to be kind of a stally card in a heavy, fast deck. And by heavy, I don't mean high retreat cost, I just mean heavy hitting. Then on to the tools. We play 5 tools in the deck. 3 Rayquaza Spirit Links. It's because you're setting up your Rayquazas early. You don't want them to get head-ringered. That's a popular card out right now, so you don't want them to get head-ringered, so you just suit them up with a Spirit Link. Especially because you can Mega Rayquaza turn 1 if you're going second and want to attack. That's a way. If you're going first, you know, you don't need to suit up the Spirit Link right away. We're playing 2 Float Stones. It's because we do play a lot of Lysander targets in this deck. One of them needs to go on Keldeo, and the other one can go on a Hoopa or a Jirachi, something that we can't actually use. Next, 4 VS Seekers, pretty standard. Since we're playing a lot of things to put stuff in the discard, helps us get those back. We're playing 3 Mega Turbos just to help accelerate things. Since this isn't a metal deck, Mega Turbo is kind of our way of doing that. 3 Ultra Balls. This might get brought up to 4, but 3's working out for me. We're playing 3 Acro Bikes to speed things up. Then we're going to be playing 3 Trainer's Mails. Again, speed is the key to this deck. 2 Battle Compressors to put our energies or our execute or a supporter in the graveyard. 2 Switch. Again, we have a lot of baits that, you know, could get Lysandered out, so Switch is going to be very helpful for that. 1 Sacred Ash, just to take advantage of the fact that we're going to be putting a lot of stuff in the graveyard, and it might be nice to shuffle stuff back in. Onto stadiums. Obvious 3 Skyfields. You could play 4th if you want. I chose not to. But again, it is something that you could play 4 of if you wish to kind of noodle around with the numbers I have here. Energies, pretty simplistic. 4 DCEs and 3 grass energies. This seems to work out pretty well for me. Haven't been using that Emerald Slash or anything like that with Virizion or anything, but that can speed out your energy process, which is kind of nice. But it's mainly there to, you know, Mega Turbo it onto a Rayquaza and hit. So that's going to be it for Colorless Turbo Mega Ray. Leave a like down there if you did. Leave a dislike if you didn't. And make sure you tell me why you liked it or didn't like it in the comment section below. Let me know any things you would change, things you've liked about the deck, things that you think I did completely wrong. I'm still fairly new to competitive Pokemon, so I just thought I'd put my opinions out there and see what y'all had to say about it. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say, so please interact with me on Twitter, which is the link will be down there as well, or in the comment section Love to hear from y'all, and thank you for coming out. And with all that being said, this is Palatine Smeargle signing out.